The Real Housewives of Atlanta news is spilling over today because Kandi Burruss and her husband Todd Tucker are facing a lawsuit claiming that they owe over $154,000 in back rent for their restaurant Blaze. Not only that, it seems as if Porsha Peach Juice Williams, sometimes Guobadia, delayed her wedding to Simon Guobadia for months before he actually showed bank records for their prenuptial agreement.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Let's first start off with Porsha Peach Juice Williams, sometimes Guobadia. Porsha has been everywhere this week, from The Breakfast Club to The View to Sherri Shepherd, promoting the new season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her big storyline is about her divorce from Simon Guobadia, who I don't know if he's still detained by ICE, but I haven't heard any sort of update in regards to that. All right, girl. They are also in the middle of a divorce where they've been back and forth in this court battle. A lot of people say the court battle is what prompted ICE to detain him. Well, our friends over at It's On Site report this in regards to what was going on in Porsha's relationship with Simon Guobadia right before she actually said, "I do." They said this: Porsha Williams wasn't walking down the aisle without seeing the receipts. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star reportedly delayed her wedding to Simon Guobadia for months because he failed to provide financial records. According to an affidavit from her former attorney, Jordan B. Foreman, Porsha and Simon's prenup negotiations dragged on due to Simon's inability to provide details on his income, assets, and liabilities. There had been discussions between the parties about the weddings occurring in August and September of 2022. However, those weddings never occurred, at least in part due to Simon's failure to provide Porsha information relating to his income, assets, and liabilities, Foreman stated. Porsha refused to move forward until Simon handed over the necessary documents, finally signing the prenup on November 17th of 2022, just days before their wedding. So some people in the comments section are saying, "Oh, see, Porsha was just out for money." Well, no. I think this was actually smart on Porsha's side of things. In Porsha's previous marriage, she basically was left on her mother's couch at the end of that marriage. So I found this to be, okay, Porsha is actually doing what she should be doing. But here's the problem. As I said to you guys countless times when we talk about Porsha and Simon, I said I don't feel bad for Porsha because Porsha saw all the evidence. I get it. You don't want to listen to the blogs, but when you see the blogs actually providing solid information about this man's character and past, and you chose to look past it, I don't know why. But then you get another red flag that this man is dragging his feet about providing you proof of his finances. Because that's what you should be doing in a prenuptial situation. I need to know fully where you stand. Because if I give you another example, part of the reason why Kelvin Hunter is suing or was pursuing, has this legal move that he was trying to take. I don't know where that is right now, where he was saying that Wendy Williams had hid millions and millions of dollars from him. So saying that their divorce settlement was null and void because of that information not being accurate. So for those that are saying she was just out for his money, well, no, this is what you do when you're doing a prenup. Letting people know you're transparent. This is what I have. This is what I owe, etc., etc. So I don't even look at this situation in that regard. I do, though, look at Porsha with the side eye because Porsha, he dragged his feet for months in providing the necessary information so that you guys could get married in September or August. And you still decided to marry him a few months later when I guess he finally provided whatever that information was. But again, this is just another thing about Simon Guobadia that we've learned since this whole debacle even started. So I don't feel bad for Porsha. Porsha, you can and I know she's going to do this because she did that in the Breakfast Club when it comes to the Nene of it all. We talked about that in a separate video. But I'm not ready for a season of Porsha playing with the truth as opposed to being very transparent. But in this particular situation, I don't see a problem with what she was doing. What I do see a problem with what she was doing was the fact that you saw the red flags and you still decided to marry this man anyway. It should be no surprise that you're in the legal battle that you're in because of the signs and symptoms that were already there. Speaking of a legal battle, a lot of people, we were talking about this maybe a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people were saying in the comment section, Kempire, did you see that OLG is not open? And we saw that it was, quote, temporarily closed. Some people also said that Blaze, their seafood restaurant, was also closed. But according to Google, it was open. But the word on the street in the Atlanta streets, people have been saying that it's been closed. It's interesting timing to hear about it being closed because I always talk about how a lot of these reality TV stars bring these products and businesses and restaurants on these shows, but the minute they're no longer on the show, the business closes. Schwartz and Sandy, I know. They probably would have been closed regardless. But I think the drive behind a lot of these products and shows and restaurants is the fact that they're on these major platforms. But I will also say OLG probably has been doing better than Blaze, even when Kandi was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But let's get into the details because I knew that this was going to happen in regards to just from the rumors that the restaurants were closed. I was like, we're going to hear something soon. So the landlord of Kandi Burruss' restaurant, Blaze Steak and Seafood, has filed a lawsuit against the former Real Housewives of Atlanta personality and her restaurant groups, alleging that they owe $154,000 in past due rent and other charges and did not maintain the property under terms of their lease. According to a complaint filed in Fulton County State Court, Burruss and the restaurant companies breached their lease by failing to pay certain charges when they became due and failing to maintain the premises. The amount of the defendants owe includes $56,500 for repairs to the premises and a $10,000 overhead fee, the complaint said. Neither Burruss nor her companies or legal counsel immediately responded to requests for comment on Wednesday or Thursday morning. The landlord of the property is Montego Pacific Incorporated, a corporation registered in California. Representatives for Montego declined to comment. Property manager, Bridger Properties, did not respond to requests for comment either. Burruss, one of the longest running cast members of the Real Housewives franchise, opened Blaze alongside Cascade Road in Southwest Atlanta in 2020 with her husband, Todd Tucker. The restaurant is one of the 2 full-time restaurants the couple owns. They opened a Southern comfort food restaurant in Castleberry Hill in 2017 called Old Lady Gang. The lawsuit filed Monday doesn't specify if Blaze is still operational. The restaurant's social media pages haven't been updated in months. Its website displays different hours from Yelp, and the website Resy no longer allows users to make reservations. This just sounds messy and unorganized, especially if you're someone that wants to go to the business. Like if you're visiting because you're a big Atlanta fan, and the lack of transparency, I don't like. And the lack of organization and consistency, I definitely don't. They said one review on TripAdvisor posted in July said that she discovered the restaurant was closed after she received a text message confirming her reservations for that night. What? The most recent health inspection score for the restaurant the Atlanta Journal-Constitution could find is dated December of 2023. There's no signage on the restaurant indicating it has closed, and an AJC reporter on Tuesday noticed some signs of life, some signs of life, come on, these journalists, some signs of life scattered around the premises. 2 half-full Starbucks cups and a cleaning rag were observed on the bar. Unfurled napkins were on tables, but the windows were dirty and the faux grass affixed to the walls of the outdoor patio appeared to be peeling off.
Hell no.
Burruss and her companies owe rent on the property through March, according to a billing statement included on. The complaint includes multiple invoices from 2 restoration companies dated between September and October. One totaling $29,235 is for the repairs following microbial remediation in the kitchen and prep area. Another totaling about $24,580 is for the repairs related to the water damage. Another totaling $17,390 is for the remediation because of visible microbial growth throughout the kitchen and prep area. There's also another invoice totaling $4,734 for restoration and remodeling related to water damage. The invoice is dated July of 2024. This is not the first time that Blaze Steak and Seafood Restaurant has faced issues from conditions of the kitchen. About 4 years ago, the restaurant received a health inspection score of 55, which is considered a failure. Blaze shut down to address the issues the inspector cited and reopened 2 days later. The low score was the accumulation of largely minor issues such as pink organic residue in ice makers, a Chick-fil-A cup in the area with regular food supplies, and a food handler switching from raw seafood to ready-to-eat food without washing hands, according to the inspector's report.
Well, speak on it.
The restaurant's most recent health score, dated in late of 2023, is a 93, according to records from the Georgia Department of Public Health. Under the terms of the lease included in the complaint, the tenant must perform all maintenance as well as make and pay for all repairs to the premises. If the tenant fails to make repairs, the landlord can do so, but the tenant must reimburse them for all costs incurred with an additional 10% overhead charge, according to the complaint. The lease also allows the landlord to recover a late fee of 5% of the past due amount each time the tenant fails to pay rent and other charges by the first of the month. All sums remaining unpaid when due accrue interest of 12% per year. According to the complaint, the landlord is allowing the defendants to avoid liability to pay the landlord's attorney's fees and other expenses of litigation by paying the past due rent within 10 days of the date that they're served. I don't think that Kandi should have a problem paying this amount of money, but the fact that we even got here is disturbing. Here's the thing, though. Every time I talk about these restaurants, I have to mention Todd Tucker, because if you remember Real Housewives of Atlanta, these restaurants were his baby. But I get it. Kandi is the bigger name. And either way, this falls under Kandi and Todd. They're both being sued in this lawsuit. They could have easily made this go away. It did not need to get to this level. But my main concern here is the fact that people are making reservations and they're getting the reservation, and then there's no one there at the restaurant. They can't actually get food. That's disappointing. But some people might say, Keith Lee said, that's Atlanta. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts on this Porsha story and Kandi and Todd story. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.